What's up, guys? Technically Tom here. Wanted to say thank you to everybody. Today I got or actually 2 days ago, I got the mail for partnership, so I can apply, and I'm waiting on that response right now. Really, really sick. I really appreciate it. I'm not at 1,000 yet, which it's kind of interesting. I'm at 881. It's mind blowing, to be honest. But yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. If you want to support the channel and help me reach that 1,000 subscriber goal, just to kind of guarantee that this whole thing will go through, if that was a fluke or something, definitely hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Enjoy. Yo, what is up, guys? So today in this video, I'm going to be playing some Standoff 2. And now what's interesting about this game is, one, I'm not good at this game, so if you're thinking about roasting me in the comments, go easy, because I'm really just not good at this game. But it is one of the games that I first played on a mobile device. I remember seeing the graphics in this game and thinking like, oh my god, no way, I can't believe this is like a mobile game, because it really felt like a port of Call of Duty. And this game was absolutely something that I just really, really enjoyed playing. This was before Call of Duty Mobile came out, and so this is kind of like the original game. And yeah, as you can see, I do have the frames per second in the corner. As you can see, it is hitting 121 at the cap, which is pretty sweet. It seems like this game actually allows 120 frames per second, which is really, really awesome. And so, as you guys can see, I do have that active one. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of like looking through different menu options to kind of show you guys around. And I did unlock this sniper and this random draw. One thing I noticed about this game is you don't really get to choose your gun. It's kind of chosen for you. So this game is pretty much a mimic of Counter-Strike. If y'all have ever played Counter-Strike on the computer or anything like that, I remember playing like maybe once or twice. The game kind of feels like a high definition PS2 game, if I'm being honest, just because of the environments being very boxy, and the textures look good, but it's not really like terrain that feels like terrain, if that makes sense. But yeah, so one thing I do like about this game, though, is that it is very simple, and I do really enjoy simple games. And yeah, somebody requested claw gameplay, and I decided to play a little bit in this on claw, and realized that it's not really for me, as you guys will see as I struggle. And yeah, I kind of like how they allow long usernames as well. I think that's pretty sweet. You guys will note, excuse me, you guys will notice with this game that this one is a lot like Quake. I don't know if you guys have ever played Quake. It's just a little bit more futuristic, so it's almost like they took Quake and then made it like Halo themed. This is what this is, and I think it's really, really cool. And yeah, the phone does get kind of moved around. I don't really keep it in the center, so I do apologize if that bothers you. But yeah, as you can see, I'm trying to play claw. It doesn't really work out too well. I don't also know how long I keep it at the bottom of the screen, so apologies about that again. But yeah, one thing I really do like about this is I like how there are just random guns kind of sitting around the map. I think it's really cool. As you guys can see, the game is already off to a bit of a struggle, but that is okay. Yeah, I also don't know how to jump. I guess I do kind of figure it out there. I guess it's double tap on the screen. But yeah, this guy seems to know what he's doing. If you are these characters and you eventually see one of my videos, shout out to you. But yeah, I do just really enjoy how this game feels. I love launching around on these little platforms. I think it's really awesome. One thing to bring up too is 2 days ago I got an offer. Excuse me, not an offer. I got a little email that was saying that I could apply for the YouTube Partner Program. And what's interesting is I got it before 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And maybe that the reason being, maybe the reason I got it was because of the fact that, one, my brain is sluggish and they're being sympathetic towards me. No, I'm kidding. I think maybe it's a projection. Like they're looking at maybe how I will be in 4 to 5 months or something, where I'll hit 1,000. Maybe they're just looking for channel growth. Or maybe there was just this weird hike in subscribers that they just got a few days ago or something. I don't, if they're processing, I don't really know exactly why I got that. But I got it, and that's pretty sweet because it feels really good. I still have to be approved, so I'm hoping that my videos are quality enough and offer enough content to be considered for this. I mean, I'm glad I am considered, but to be approved. So that is still in the works, and it will be about a month until I can see if we make money. And if I can, it's going to be really, really motivating. And if you guys can share the videos, you know what I mean? I looked, and one of my videos had like 19 shares. I don't know like who's sharing them, and if they're sharing them out of like a joke to make fun of me, or like, this is insecure me talking, but it's probably not that. Maybe they were showing somebody gameplay, or something along those lines. I don't really know exactly why, but I just think anytime somebody's like giving, like sharing my videos to make fun of me, but yeah, I don't think that's the case. But if it is, oh well, I guess, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I guess back to the gameplay. But yeah, sorry, once again, really enjoy that. And yeah, one thing I kind of like is I like the textures. It does feel very like we're in the future kind of thing, you know what I mean? And it's cool, there's like little hit markers on the wall. And then I also like how you can shoot and aim very far without really having to do much. The aiming really feels like Halo, with that little like marker thing on the screen. Obviously, I think Quake was all like this too, like I had said. But yeah, this is some kind of shotgun. I really like that machine gun, but I think I end up doing better with shotguns for the most part. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just having fun in these little platform things you can jump on. This game is really honestly fun so far. So there's like this weird countdown thing happening. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, anyway, so let's see here. So yeah, so there's this blast wave thing. And it knocks you off the map, and I think it's just to kind of throw people off, or you're supposed to get maybe inside, so it can't knock you off the map. I do get inside at one point. I think that was what I needed to do. It is cool also that you have like power-ups laying down, and I was going to be like, man, if I didn't kill this guy with him right in front of me, it does happen, but man, I was like, man, I need to start getting some kills, so I'm just getting immediately roasted. Here's also where the screen is below. I do apologize about that. The phone is about a foot away from me, behind a mic and a screen, or excuse me, a mic and like a camera stand. And so because of that, and my eyes not being the best, it does make it kind of difficult to see the screen. So I feel like I'm focusing a lot on the screen and not where the phone is placed. And yeah, so I got 3 kills, 1 assist, and 13 deaths. So the most professional game I've ever played in my entire life. Really worthy of it. No, but the worst game that I played today is going to be in like the Search and Destroy version. Man, we lose every single game, so get ready for that one. It's pretty tragic. But yeah, see, this is hitting 120 frames per second, which is pretty sweet. I think there I might notice that I'm keeping the phone down. Nope, I do not. Okay. But yeah, so there are some results, like, you know, it's like well played, yada yada. You have some maps. And yeah, I'm kind of just trying to figure the menu out, to be honest. But yeah, cut off, and then we got arena. You can choose your team, which is pretty sweet. So if you're playing with friends, you can definitely make sure you're on the team without having to really jump at a party. I think it's pretty great. Here I realized that I can't really move my zoom left and right if I fire from the button on the right. I do have my shoulder triggers mapped to essentially that button on the right. Because of that, when I zoom, I can't really move around. And yeah, I think at one point I do adjust it because it does get pretty annoying. But yeah, I do think this is also my best game that I play. I'm also doing friendly fire because I can clearly understand the yellow guys are on my team. Usually I'm used to just like green tags, and yeah, I'm not really too certain on that, the colors in this game. I do realize it eventually, but yeah, obviously they're not showing names for the enemies, so yeah. Yeah, as you can see, best game ever. It does pick up, fortunately. I guess like graphically, it feels like low settings on Cloud Mobile. That's kind of what it feels like. Even though it is high settings, and it is capping at 121 frames per second, which is really, really sick. The fact I can pull that kind of frames per second is really nice. And if you are really good at this game and you're looking for a phone that will give you optimal frames per second to where you can, if you're really good, be way better than everyone around you, this is definitely the phone to do it. Just want to remind you guys, this is not a gameplay where I'm trying to show you how good I am. I'm trying to show you how good the phone is. And if you're sitting there thinking, man, this guy sucks ass, you are correct. I do suck ass. And another thing too, though, if you're thinking like, man, this phone's so good, how is he not good? That's another thing you should consider, that you think the phone's good. And if you think the phone's good and it's worthy of buying, it's only $800 for the top model. What I will say though is this December there's going to be the RedMagic 9 Pro. So to be honest, when I upgrade to that, there's going to be way more videos on that. And I think maybe you should consider waiting until then, especially if you're not going to upgrade for years to come. You might as well just wait for the best device of the year instead of getting this one. This one's a great device. But for instance, let's say they have like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is supposed to come out in October. Let's say they have that in there, and they have LPDDR6 RAM, if that's like the next version of RAM that they have with it. You know what I'm saying? And they make it like 18 gigs of RAM. Like they made an 18 gigs of RAM model of the 7S Pro. I believe it was the 7S Pro or the 7S. One of them had 18 gigs or something along those lines. Or maybe that was the Rogue 6B. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but one of the phones had 18 gigs of RAM, and I think just for the fun of it and maxing specs, like that's what I like. Of course, 18 gigs of RAM is ridiculous. 16 is a lot. But what I will say is that I love to see max stats, like when I buy a phone. Like I want the best specs. I want absurd, just ridiculous specs, man. I want to be like, damn, I got the best phone in terms of specs on the market. I hope they also take the cue of bumping the frame rate past 120 frames per second. Excuse me, the refresh rate. Somebody pointed out to me that they are separate, so I appreciate whoever did that. Yeah, so they are separate, but I'm hoping that the refresh rate can get up to 165. That would be actually really ideal. Not that 120 is bad at all, because it's honestly really great, and you don't necessarily need it, but why are we basing things off of what we need? I mean, some people are, but if you're going to do that, I mean, there's no reason really to get a gaming phone, right? I mean, could. But yeah, another thing I want to kind of address is people tend to assume because this game is gaming focused, it can't do other tasks well, which, to be honest, I don't really understand. Because if you think, and maybe it's just because they aren't really tech savvy, and that's completely fine, totally acceptable. But I guess like the best way I could put it is, if it can run a game very well, it's going to be able to handle something way less like graphically intensive and processor intensive, if that's how you say it. It's going to require way less anyway, right? So of course it's going to be able to handle things with ease, and that's what you got to think. If it can handle a high intensity game, it's obviously going to be handling other tasks with complete ease, and that's something you got to keep in mind. So yeah, I mean, it literally does everything. You gotta remember too, if you aren't really too tech savvy, like pay attention to the operating system on the phone. If the phone has Android, or there's only an iPhone, obviously. So usually every other operating system on phones are Android, and Android is a great operating system, very easy to use, like very simple to figure out. I mean, guys, it's a grid of apps. You swipe up from the bottom to get, okay, sorry. So here I'm doing actually pretty well. I'm getting a lot of kills. Like this was my first double kill, which is pretty sick. I do get taken out immediately, but yeah. But kind of back to what I was saying, if I can remember. Yeah, so right here I'm just trying to snipe, and I'm really getting some friendly kills here. So I don't know which team I'm playing for. Yeah. See, man, I've hit my teammate perfectly. But yeah, so Android is super easy to use. It really is. It's not hard. Like, it's even more convenient than iOS. Like, iOS has like a pull down notification bar. Like, Android has that, but they've had it since 2008, and so there's a lot more features built into it. It is a lot better, to be honest. There's a lot more to it. Notification management, way better. You know what I'm saying? So instead of like you getting just a ton of notifications at once, it's gonna you'll get like a text immediately. But if you keep getting text after text, it's not gonna be ping, 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 ping. It's just gonna, as you choose it to, it's just gonna kind of collect all of them, and then it'll send you like another notification, or and you can obviously tweak those in the settings. But yeah, so you're not getting like, and it's also gonna be in under one kind of little folder thing too. It's not gonna be under like individual ones like you get on iOS. So yeah. Another thing too is like notification. Like the thing is, people were saying that Android is complicated, not for the average user. I think that that's total crap. It's literally Apple took all the things that made Android complicated supposedly and made it more complicated, to be honest. But like an app drawer, if you swipe to the right on an iPhone, you get to an app drawer. If you swipe just from the bottom anywhere on Android, you get to the app drawer, right? There's the pull down notification thing. There's the double tap for management. Like you literally just hit, or you can just hit the little square at the bottom. Like I have like the personally, there is swipe gestures, but I like the haptic buttons because it feels pretty nostalgic for me. So you hit the haptic button and then the cards pop up, right? And then like the cards being the swipe away like applications to clear the RAM. It actually clears the RAM, unlike on Apple. I guess Apple I don't understand Apple. They'll have options available, but they don't do anything, if that makes sense. Like swiping them away doesn't even help the battery, because I guess Apple manages it in some way, and that's fine. But I mean, why have that option? Is it just to please people or just for show? I don't really understand. I'm sure there's somebody super tech savvy in the comment section that could explain that. But I mean, another thing, like how there's just this one gets me. Like if I turn Wi-Fi on, it's going to turn Wi-Fi on. But if I turn off the toggle for Wi-Fi, it's not going to turn Wi-Fi off. It's just going to turn the toggle off. Like I don't understand. Like why would that not turn Wi-Fi off? There's things like that. Same with Bluetooth, same with everything. You have to seriously go back into the software to do it. And that to me, that little detail shows me like, man, this is just something that doesn't really make sense. Like it feels like they're in a very primitive state, especially with adding widgets. People were saying widgets are complicated, but you do the same thing on Apple. You drag and you drop it. But the thing is, Apple will never catch up to Android with widgets. Like, dude, there are so many fucking widgets on Android. Like, dude, I had widgets on my T-Mobile G1, the first Android phone in the world. I think it was called the HTC Dream internationally. That was literally the first Lil Hen. We just call Henry. We have photos of Henry, and Lauren named it Lil Hen. It's kind of funny. But yeah. So enough of roasting Apple. Nah, just kidding. Like Android has such a smooth UI. It's very easy. Another thing I want to cover. Sorry that it's at the bottom as well. I don't know if I move it up, but if that's a pet peeve of yours for me not keeping it still, apologize. Another thing I wanted to mention. If I can remember, yeah, I'm super tired today. I took about a week break from making videos, just because, I mean, when I put up a ton, it takes a minute for them to collect views, and when I start doing a ton, it seems like less and less people are watching them. So I do upload a lot when I really feel like putting out a lot, but I think spacing them out over time is a little bit better of an idea, just because of like less views. It also kind of depends on the content, I suppose. But yeah, so here at the Pistol, just kind of either getting lucky, didn't get too lucky there, but yeah, this is definitely the best game of the day. And yeah, so see how the corner's dipping down. Apologies about that. Not professional. Do apologize. But yeah, it really just feels like iOS with this new customization thing is like, congrats to that guy who has a name in a Eastern language I'm not too familiar with, maybe Russian, maybe something along those lines. But yeah, not really too sure about that, but good for him. You know what I mean? Here's this Search and Destroy game where I'm going to totally compensate for my lack of gameplay with roasting Apple, because that's going to make me feel better. Man, I wonder if I'm actually doing that. But yeah, no, I just get taken out. It's super, super embarrassing. Yeah, but that's okay. So something I wanted to kind of talk about too in this is I kind of like how you can pick your weapons here, but there are no custom classes, and maybe that's just like intentional, and it kind of sets it apart. but certain games you just get random guns. But it could have just been because I just don't really like how there is no custom class creation in this game. And I get that it is almost setting it apart as a different game. And if you like that, and if you like the fact that nobody can really choose and it's kind of a surprise almost, and you have to kind of work with what you got, then that's fine. And I think this game kind of right now is at least resembling that standoff style game. I think that's what it's called in Call of Duty. It's like 2-on-2. You get a random weapon. I feel like this game as a whole is kind of like that. But yeah, I think this is like a 7 or 8 point game, and they do smash us. I don't understand this here. So this guy is getting, he's like planting the bomb before we move. I don't know if this is like part of the game, but see, why does he get to plant the bomb before we even get a chance to go over there to stop him from planting the bomb? So I'm going up there and I'm like looking at the bomb, and it's like, I don't even know how the fuck to defuse it because I don't ever get to that point. I did get 1 kill. What's up? It's your boy, the only kill of the game. Killing the game, dude. Sorry. But yeah, fortunately, at least you guys can say the phone is somewhat in the center, so that's good, right? But yeah, throughout this, my wrist starts hurting too, and it's kind of stupid. Why would my wrist hurt from this? Like, just playing too intensely, bro. I don't know. I was kind of annoyed there. I genuinely am not seeing these people, and I think the more I get killed, the more cautious I play, and then that cautiousness creates hesitation. It's like, damn, I don't like not playing well, you know what I mean? I said that 100 times though. But yeah, I guess some visual aspects to the game, it really just feels like a PS2 game if you took it and you raised the anti-aliasing. That to me is exactly what it feels like. So cool that we are getting 120 frames per second, and I think that's going to be really good for gamers. And yeah, I do like how clean the game feels. Like, the menus feel nice. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm getting bombarded with micro purchases. It doesn't feel sluggish. It doesn't feel overwhelming. Sometimes Call of Duty Mobile can feel overwhelming, especially if you're first starting it. It's not like it's that hard, but there are a lot of options. There are a lot of like menus for different passes that you have to spend CP on, and it's like COD points, and you have to buy COD points, and it's like if you want the mythic guns that have perfect accuracy, no recoil, and this crazy effect, you have to spend $100 to $200. Like, holy shit, you know what I mean? No thanks. I've done it for 1 gun, that was the DLQ, and I don't think I'll ever do it again. I can't say that I never will if I somehow get to a place where I'm just balling and I can afford it, like, all about it. I'll just start buying more. But yeah, no, right now, definitely not happening at all. Yeah, like I said, I was pretty happy that I could at least get some assault rifles, but that was cool. And yeah, I do like the kind of tiles on the floor. The game kind of feels like a little like Middle Eastern kind of place, or kind of some kind of palace. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of how this feels, or like a town square almost. It feels like if I were to take a Kingdom Hearts map like Agrabah and make it a little bit more Greek. I don't know if I'm missing this completely, or Italian or something. It's just, when I think of that, I think of the cobblestone, like, you know, like the old looking buildings, things like that. Or it's kind of a beach feel, something along those lines. But I really think it looks cool. And yeah, so obviously we're supposed to just go to those points, but here is your boy hesitating non-stop because I was like, what the fuck do I do? Yeah, so we have the Legend Locke, who crushed the game, bro. 7 kills. Your boy got 1, 1, and 6 deaths. So that was a really great game, if you ask me. Yeah, so another thing is cool, you can choose a team. What I do is I do that game I played in the beginning that's a lot like Quake, but Halo themed almost. So I take that and I fall off. I know, it's great. Yeah, but this one you can play with teams, which I thought was a little bit better than just complete free-for-all. Maybe I was playing with teams in the beginning, I don't really know, but it seemed like there was more players in this one. But if it is the same thing, hopefully you enjoy just kind of seeing it again and getting maybe a little bit more detail, or just kind of seeing a little bit better gameplay, if even that. I have no idea how I play in this one, to be honest. But I do really like that machine gun. As you can see, I go back for that. This is where my wrist was killing me, and I totally take the phone off the screen. Very fantastic. Shout out to my boy Jadson. Same as Jason, but yeah, today I was pretty excited to see the whole partnership thing, man. It's really cool. I just got to get accepted, but damn, finally getting to a point where I can run ads in my videos and hopefully start making money. I really got to grind, especially in the beginning, because I mean, videos getting 200 to 300 views, it's like a penny or a nickel. It's really nothing, but dude, something is better than nothing. And having a little bit of money, like if I could just bust my ass in these videos and start collecting a ton of views, then it'll equal more money, and I'll put the money away for phones, and boom, we are getting more phones, more gameplays, everything like that. So very, very excited for the future of my channel. I really am glad that maybe somebody checked my channel out and thought like, hey, maybe he is, you know, like showing that he's committed and dedicated, and we'll give him an opportunity for partnership. Or it's because I was previously partnered, and they decided to let me be partnered again. I was with some Your Daily Laughs thing that was paying me. Before the partnership worked, where it wasn't directly through YouTube, it was through like third party kind of people that were through YouTube. So you got paid in a different way than maybe it is now, where it's just through YouTube, which is pretty sweet. I think one thing that Google really needs to take care of is anonymous like reporting. You could literally take down somebody's channel. Don't do it to your boy. We just start now, man. Come on. No, we're for real. You could literally like get somebody banned for no reason. You can just report. People were reporting for like offensive language, or you know what I mean, random things that weren't even in like not my video, but in H3 Productions videos. And like, dude, you're like fucking with somebody's livelihood. Like, I don't know what kind of like sociopathic kind of person you have to be to want to fuck with somebody's livelihood. Like, that's something you just don't touch, man. Like that, if you do that, like I'm gonna be honest, you're a pretty bad person. It's essentially like you're killing them. It's like getting somebody fired at a job for a promotion of your own. Like when you get to the top, bro, you're gonna feel like shit because you just stepped along everybody on the way. And you know, at the end of the day, like, is life about stepping on people, or is it about building people up around you? You know what I mean? And I feel like you can do that with content creators on YouTube. You can build them up instead of tearing them down. You know what I'm saying? You can pass something positive along, not something negative. I feel like I'm getting negative for sure with like the Apple fanboy stuff and complaining, and I apologize about that. I'm trying to keep these things a little bit more positive. But I do think that, you know, there's more to talk about than just what's in front of me. But yeah. So I also thought it was cool how, you know, our team is purple. I like how they changed it up. Looks like we have like little football helmets. It's kind of funny. But yeah. Yeah, just honestly, guys, keep positive, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's something you can do. I was listening to this guy. He's like so it was this, I guess, this old guy that used to work for Google. He recently quit to, I guess, work on, I guess, mindfulness and things like that. But basically, if you don't know what that is, it's like meditation and stuff. And you think like, why would this guy do that? He kind of realized, he's like, you know, our brains are, you're saying our brains are pretty much wired to want more and more. And it's part of like it's literally part of, I guess, your nervous system to want more and more. And it's sort of like, your brain will experience something and then it'll sort of balance it out. And so that new thing doesn't feel like a new thing anymore, which is why, you know, you have an old phone, you get a new one. Well, it's not the newest one, then damn, you know what I mean? Your brain's like, I want the newest one. And clearly I fall into that one with cell phones 100% of the time. But this guy was saying like he just ended up getting more and more things. And he's like, at what point am I going to be happy? You got like a nice house, got literally everything. You had like a nice grand piano, like literally everything you could possibly want. And he was saying, well, the next thing is the gazebo. Got to get the gazebo. And he's sitting there thinking, he's like, wait, like, I thought, you know, a while ago, I would have thought this was what I needed to be happy. And I think that a lot of times we can fall into that. Like, I think before I was stable financially, I was sitting here thinking like, you know, or before I was married and I was really lonely, like, of course I love my wife and my marriage is great, but it's interesting to think, I thought like when I had stable finances, now all my needs met essentially, like fortunately I'm married now, I thought I'd be like super happy. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying life, like it's kick ass. But what I'm also saying and thinking is like, you know, your brain eventually balances out and even the good things eventually become very stale. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, about 4 times out, thank you for that awesome partnership that I can now apply for. It's all because of you guys, all because of your comments, your likes, everything. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Let's reach that 1,000 subscriber goal. Leave a like and a comment on what you thought. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.